So, I have no recollection of what we're going to find here. So I have no idea how we should prepare for this, to be brutally honest with you. What does that mean? That probably means we want to take a pretty well-balanced team so we can adjust to whatever, or at least handle whatever situation we might find ourselves in. That means we definitely want to have some combat happening here. So that means it's going to be Garrus, Rex, or Ashley. At least one of them is making the team here. We have seen a lot of Rex, a lot of Garrus recently, so I'm thinking maybe we do make a point of adding in Ashley. Then that means we are, well, perhaps a little bit missing on the biotics and tech. I mean, technically, if we wanted to perfectly balance the team, that would mean adding Caden. It's been a long time since we last used him. It could be a bit of a throwback, going with the original 2 teammates there. That's maybe not a bad idea. Sure, let's go for it. Okay, so what I want to see is usually when we end up on a new planet, we check our map, we will find things of note here, like hidden structures with an exclamation point that would suggest that, yeah, this is where whatever the primary thing you're looking to do here on this planet is, that's where you should go. It is actually quite close to us. But, yeah, I'm thinking what we do here is let's go counterclockwise and basically just finish on this spot right here, and we'll see what kind of stuff we happen to find, because we have no idea what it's gonna be. So let's mark that first, I suppose. We do also have upgrades for our squad, because I think it might be the longest since we last used Caden. 38 skill points. That's kind of a lot. Shepard's all good. Ashley has 12, which is a fair bit too, but not nearly as much as Caden. Okay, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff we can do with Caden here. So, one of the reasons why we had not been using him very often is because he is, of course, also a Sentinel, and so we have a lot of overlap in our abilities. So, that in mind, perhaps means we should make a point of using Caden for things that we are not focusing very much on. And so I think that might mean we did not upgrade we did not even take Neural Shock yet, and I think that's probably going to end up being something that we are going to have to pass on if we are going to focus on improving stasis as much as possible. I mean, I'd potentially make the case that our fully upgraded stasis with the additional bonus that allows us to deal damage with the stasis is more or less just a better version of Neural Shock. Caden can't do that because he does not have access to the Bastion ability, which is, at least once we fully upgrade it, the thing that is making that possible. So that's why I think we'll pass on stasis for Caden, but maybe we invest heavily in Neural Shock instead. And that means, Caden, you know, you can be that person who actually specializes in first aid / medicine. Congratulations. That honor belongs to you. So I think we might even just go all out here. And so as a reminder for Neural Shock, which I think we looked at previously, but again, since it's not really something we're focused on with our character, it knocks an organic enemy out for 3 seconds and inflicts some toxic damage, and it's a somewhat sizable amount of damage. It's not a ton, but so that's really the biggest difference between Neural Shock and Stasis is shorter duration, but it has damage. And it only works on organics, whereas Stasis, I believe, works on just about everybody. So again, that's kind of why I'm thinking Stasis is gonna be better for us, but since Caden can't do that, well, you're gonna settle for Neural Shock. And I mean, the throw in the lift is nice, just to give us some additional crowd control abilities, because you know, we'll use it once and we'll disable a few people that way, but or you know, handle a few people that way, but it means that then we're going to be on cooldown, so if another wave of people comes rushing in, then we are suddenly no longer able to slow them down. So having some throw and maybe even some additional lift coming from Caden is not a terrible idea in that sense. I mean, he has plenty of skill points here. So get advanced throw, maybe we go to advanced lift, and then we'll leave it at that for now. And we'll see how many points we have remaining after that. Okay. And the answer is plenty. I mean, we really could go all out for Master Neural Shock. Knocks an enemy out for 5 seconds, which is a pretty sizable amount of time. It's just, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, then again, like, once we get our stasis going, we're going to start out at, what was that? 12.5 seconds. So, in terms of duration, stasis is definitely far better than Neural Shock. So it's the, how much do you value that damage that you're getting from the Neural Shock? How much is that worth it? The other thing is, you know, just getting some sabotage and electronics here, so that way you can overload and get some shields going, because, yeah, you are also not going to be the tankiest of characters, so that's probably fairly helpful for you. Then, I mean, getting some, even just the first Sentinel before you start to run into all the diminishing returns, maybe not a terrible idea. Well, you still have 10 remaining. So, yeah, you know, sure. Go all out Neural Shock. And we need advanced first aid. I'm really not sure that we do. 1, 2, 3. You could get either Master Overload or Master Sabotage. Both of those are on the table. You could also get the Master Thrower and get Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could get Master Lift. Maybe we go with that. I mean, we've also mastered Lift, but again, I think in terms of crowd control, it is basically at the top, at or near. So that sounds fine to me. Then, Ashley. Now, you are important because I think we're going to use you much more regularly than we're going to use Caden. You complement us well because you provide that additional weapons capability that we can't really do ourselves. So, I think we were just unlocking enough assault training to get all the way up to Master Immunity, which we already have, which is pretty sweet. So then, first aid, I think we're probably just completely ignoring with you. Then sniper rifles, yeah, we were thinking of having you specialize as a ranged weapons person, namely with sniper rifles, because that's the hardest for, well, we can't do it, or at least we're very, very bad at it with our untrained ability with snipers. And we were saying you were likely going to be just like a replacement for, or an alternative for Garrus. You know, both of you being the range specialists, and then close range specialists being mostly Rex or other crowd control people if we want to have someone accompany us who's more inclined to use those types of abilities, like Hayden, or potentially even Tally for tech-based abilities, and the shotgun is, of course, good at close range, which Tally can use. So, yeah, I think for that reason, let's get you on the assassination route here, and then maybe even up to Master Assassin as well. And tempting to go for Master Overkill, give you sniper and assault rifles, that way, you know, you are fully leveled up for the longest range weapon and the medium range weapon, whereas this is, at least if we go far enough in pistols to get shotguns unlocked, definitely more so the closer range option. But, how do we feel about that? How do we feel about that? I think, let's get this. Get Master Overkill, because I think at least getting this, yeah, I think these are going to be your staples for the most part. And this is kind of just a bonus, is if/when we can get your shotgun working, then great, but for the most part, there are going to be other people who are going to be better at it than you. Actually, on this occasion, you are the best shotgun user, or would be the best shotgun user in this party. But, well, you don't have the skill points to get that far up just yet. So, I think we're now good for that. We just look at our equipment, though. Also, likely to find that Caden and Ashley are quite a bit behind here. Yeah, let's give Caden this Stinger. Wait, let's just make sure. Is that better than our weapon? Stinger 5? Hold on. What is our weapon? Our weapon is the Stiletto. No, I think it's just a same sort of tier of manufacturer and same level as well. So it's a matter of one of them would be higher damage, one of them would be higher heat sink capacity, and that would be higher accuracy, and so on. That's fine for you. And Ashley is the more important one, because you need some nice weapons. And, guess we give you the Avenger here. And then, shotgun-wise, it's like Tornado's the way to go. Let's do that. Pistol, very unlikely you're ever going to use that. Sniper rifle is very important, though. So for this, looking like it's going to be the Equalizer or Naginata. Let's actually compare those two. Let's go Equalizer and then compare that to Naginata. Yeah, I think we probably prefer the damage above all else, so let's stick with that. And then we did pick up, yes, this was the armor we were looking at previously. Coming from Rosenkopf Materials, which is the first piece of gear we've gotten from them, and they are one of the really good manufacturers, so let's definitely make that switch, because that will help you a lot. And I have to imagine that is our best chest plate here. Technically, you could get slightly more shields from this, although you lose out on a fair bit of damage protection. So I don't think that is worth making that exchange. Then other thing would be your armor upgrades, and you just have more damage reduction here. So we throw on a better version, ablative coating, go from what, 7% to 10%, which doesn't sound like a huge upgrade, but bear in mind, she has other forms of damage protection as well, namely immunity, and some really good damage protection on her armor already. So she is just a tremendous tank. Doesn't have the same kind of life regeneration that Rex has, but otherwise, certainly on that same type of level. More pure defenses rather than life restoration. Then for you, Hayden, we do have, of course, some new biotic amps and Omni tools. Ones that are probably at least a little bit better. So I suppose make the swaps, but it's largely just a matter of what your personal preference is in terms of which stats you want to prioritize. In terms of your armor, well, I regret to inform you, only thing we got is, well, what you currently have on, which is, I believe, your starting armor, and it's bad. So that's not great. But can we at least throw a half-decent upgrade on here for you? Right now, you have shield recovery and hardening. It's not the most fitting for you. Cooldown reduction would probably be helpful. Now you are a very skill-based character. But then again, honestly, just giving you more defenses, because your armor is terrible, and I think you're going to go down fairly easily. Probably a decent option there. So, let's see. Yeah, we should make our way over to that marker, I think. I have no idea. I do not remember this planet at all, or what the mission we're going to find here is. So, I do not know what we're going to encounter here. Your guess is as good as mine. This is a pretty darn steep obstacle for us to climb here, so let's try going along this edge where it looks like it's a little more manageable. And then now that we're kind of up here, this should be fairly straightforward to keep on going. Yeah. I think we've conquered this mountain. Okay. Whoa! What is that? Okay. So, I mean, it is similar to what we saw on a previous planet.
You need to turn back, Commander. You're
We're
going
not on
beyond
the
the
edge
range
of
of
the
the
room,
operational
Joker.
area.
Come on. It is, I would have to imagine that question mark, but it is also right in the middle of a very large, flat plain area, which does give some Thresher Mob vibes. Don't know specifically if there is one here or not, so let's save just to be safe. But it could be. It could be Thresher Mob territory. Let's see. Signs of... I mean, it's not quite as level as I might have thought it would be, but it's still possible. On edge is a gigantic, monstrous creature about to appear directly under our ship. It might be... It might be... It's a sorry capsule here. Pressure Mob, Pressure Mob. What are they feeding you? Hopefully not human specters. Matriarch's writings. Okay. We found one of Matriarch Delinaga's writings on this body. It's possible the writing came from the nearby ruins, which we may also be able to check out. Bear in mind, the other time when we were checking out some kind of salvageable materials in an area where we suspected Thresher Mobs, only once we finished examining that thing did the Thresher Mob appear. Only once we finished examining that thing did the Thresher Maw appear. Oh, okay. In that case, let's go check out this pyramid thing.
Then we shall see.
Oh, and Canadian Adam. Thank you for the raid. How's it going? We were playing some Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Do I make YouTube videos? I host the VODs for these streams on YouTube. I also do streams for Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, which I also post on YouTube, Vids there. And I also do The Witcher 3. And some Gwent videos, which is the Witcher card game. All that stuff on YouTube as well. So yes, in short, some of that stuff is carried over from Twitch streams. Some of that stuff, in the case of Gwent, is specific to YouTube. Anything else here? Whereabouts are we in the game? We are... You mean from like a general progression standpoint? I mean, in terms of physical location, we are currently on Tuntau. In terms of how far along in the game we are, one moment as I nervously go across this area that gives me Thresher Maw vibes. Please hold. Are we about to get demolished by Thresher Maw? Perhaps not. Perhaps not. In terms of general progression at this stage, we, for main quest, have done, obviously, all of the, like, prologue-y stuff. Okay, we are very clearly outside the bounds of this world right now. Done all the prologue-y stuff, of course. Become a Spectre, what have you. We did Therum, so we have, now taken Liara. She's joined the team. We have not yet done any of the other major main quest missions. So, you know, no Pharos yet, no Novaria yet. And then, but those are probably coming up relatively soon here, because we've been doing a lot of side missions. And, the list of side missions is starting to grow a little small here. Let's, check out this Mercury Deposit real quick. Where is it right now? Is it hiding behind the... Where did it go? There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. Like this side, I think. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, so you're probably a little further along, a fair bit further along than me in that case, depending on how aggressively you're doing the side missions. Are you trying to, you know, do the vast majority / entirety of side missions, or are you kind of, you know, just going with focusing on the main quest and whichever other missions just happen to suit your fancy? So I'm definitely trying to do just about all of them. In my case, you know, I may on occasion miss a thing or two, or may technically take some dialogue options or what have you that exclude some potential follow-up of some variety. But, you know, 95% at least, I would think. Let's see, so we've got, what even is this? Other probe to be salvaged. Let's check it out. Okay, so, whoa, this is a hard one. Not so tough this time, though. Shredder rounds, I do like those. Cryo rounds, and I did not catch what that last thing was there, but perhaps more of various ammo varieties. So let's just check for the general boundaries of this world here and make sure we're not missing out on any other goodies. Okay, also moderate pressure mall vibes. Look at this though. That's cool. It's almost like there's a frozen lake here. Just kind of carved out a little canyon between these two mountain-like areas. And this is very open over here. Let's see. Yeah. So what we started off here, and then we sort of started doing a counterclockwise circle. We'll continue doing that here, and then we'll finish on the actual exclamation point there, where we're expecting to run into the actual mission. But we did not know in advance what this mission was. We did not have anything directing us here. We just saw that this was a planet that we were technically able to go on. Oh. And we decided to go here. Now this is interesting. This mineral deposit here is sort of, technically, kind of, beyond the scope of the world. There are a few occasions on which things like this happen. In fact, sometimes even somewhat significant stuff that's right on the edge of the world like this. Or these things that you would not think would be possible to show up on the edge of the world do in fact show up on the edge of the world. I would not include this on the list of particularly unusual significant things. I'm talking stuff a little bit more extravagant than this. But hopefully Joker's not going to get mad at us for, well, just trying to, like, actually get this.
Moving out, moving out.
You okay there, kid? Alright, bring on the Nirvana. Is that too close? That also, doing it on the analog stick. Not the easiest thing. Let's see. So, we got the lithium. That's cool. Pop back in. And actually get back within the bounds of this world. That's quite the drop-off there. Part of me is tempted to just blast off from the top of this. Come on, do it. We can do it. Top of this mountain and see how far this fall is. Come on. We are king of Tuntau. King of Tuntau. I say to you. Look at that view. Just look at that view. Picturesque. Put it on a postcard and mail it. So, you know, usually it takes a fair bit of effort to climb up mountains this steep, because the Mako is not always the most cooperative of machines, but you know what? Attack with that. Away we go! Alright, actually, didn't have quite the boosting capacity to make it all the way down to the bottom without hitting the side. Just a little less than I was looking for there in terms of the drama. But, yeah, you know, we'll take it. We'll take it. And here's the edge here. So we have taken most of the perimeter at this rate. Have not really done much on the interior, exploration-wise, just yet. But in theory, that should be a fair bit easier, because it is much flatter by the looks of things. Seems as though you've got the sort of mountainy areas on the outskirts of the planet, like this stuff. And then, once you get to the middle, it's very flat. And you would think you'd be able to see just about anything there. And conveniently, there is basically just a ramp up this mountain. So that does make it quite a bit easier to climb it. No need to try to ascend 90-degree angles. Unless the Mako insists on making it so. Just double check map-wise. Where's that area? Oh, we're down here. Yes, this would take us toward the hidden structure. And I think we're probably okay with that. Just need to remind ourselves that we technically have not explored the entirety of the planet just yet. There might still be some things in the middle that we've not yet discovered. But yeah, I actually do not remember what this is.
Commander.
We are not even close to the edge of the world, here, Joker. Thank you very much. We want to go all the way... I mean... that is outside the range of the world there, so I suppose we can't really maintain our elevation there. Just hesitant to lose all this height that we put all that effort into gaining. In case we need to ascend later on, but okay. Well, there's some sign of enemies here. At least by the marker, which is, I suppose, not really something that should be terribly surprising to us. What type of enemy? Is it some kind of sniper that's going to start shooting us? Or perhaps. It's, where exactly is it? A little further in this direction? Oh. Oh. It's this. What is this? Got some pirate snipers? Well, I mean... nice knowing ya. What's the matter? You saw your friends go kabloomy? Hey, you will too. And that's the last of them. Okay, so... this is our spot. I have no recollection of what this place is. So let's save. Because, I don't know what to expect. Lots of enemies. I can tell you that much. Not really sure what that is. Let's see. Mercenary... mercenary base, you say? I am getting the feeling we may not want to be here yet. We technically may not want to be here yet. We have not yet checked out these other crime lords. This is not one of their locations. This feels like, I mean, certainly there could be other mercenary bases out there. That's possible. But we, of course, know of this quest. It's one of the few quests we actually have remaining that is currently still incomplete. And so I am getting some vibes that perhaps this is a place where we're going to have a reason to come back to later on. So I'm kind of thinking we might actually duck out here. For what it's worth, we did just get a new medium human armor. We can take a look to see, Ashley's the only person who could theoretically wear it here, but we gave her a really nice piece of armor recently, so no, it is... Oh, hold on. That's an assault rifle, Vids. That's it, though, and it is certainly not any better than her existing armor. So, no thank you. But, yes, the thing is, like, I don't think we're supposed to be yet. And kind of just confirms vibes that we had before about how we didn't have anything that was telling us we were supposed to go here. We kind of just realized it was possible for us to land here, so we said, sure, why not? And I'm thinking that on a future occasion we will have something that will say, go to this specific planet, or at least this specific system, to investigate this kind of problem. And when we do get that, we can happily return. This much is true. But I think that perhaps until then, it's best if we just take a little break from this place. I mean, we can maybe just explore a little bit more, see if there is anything else around here on the planet outside of this mission. And that way, once we do end up coming back, we'll quite simply just head over there and be ready to go. I think this is the, or at least coming up on the more centrally area we had not yet explored at all. Then again, it didn't look like there was much here. But who knows? Perhaps some of these little mounds have something? Perhaps not. I think that's just a particularly dark area there. It's not actually like a crate or anything. No. No. Not seen much. I mean, this is oddly flat. This little plateau here. Yeah. I think we may have jumped the gun a bit here. So, alright, we did a scouting mission. If nothing else, we got the lay of the land here. We know what we're dealing with, kinda, sorta. And on a future occasion, we'll stop by and we'll finish the job. But at least for right now, I think perhaps it makes sense for us to return to the Normandy. So, in that case, does mean we are absolutely running out of stuff to do. I mean, we were thinking we're gonna go for the, where was it? Strange transmission from the biotic commune. So we were gonna do that, and then we said, you know, there's another place that's nearby where we just were. Why not head over there as well and see what we can do? But I think now perhaps we focus on the commune. Although I totally just looked at it and did not even remotely register where it was. So hold on just a second. Where is it? That's kind of important. It is Sentry System Hawking Ida Cluster. Hawking Ida Sentry. Okay. So Hawking Ida is where? Over here. And sentries. So that would be it. Let's just double check if there's anything else. Over here, no, it looks like... It's kind of hard to tell if these are actually systems we can explore or not. I don't think so, though. But I'm fairly certain that this is the only place, at least that we currently know of, in the Hawking Ida cluster. So let's check it out.
Message coming in, Commander.
Mm-hmm.
Big surprise. The Alliance needs you again.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett with Alliance Command. We've got a mission for you.
Oh?
An Alliance officer named Major Kyle has set up a small compound in the Hawking Ida cluster. He's attracted a number of followers, mostly biotics. He's become an outspoken critic of the Alliance, and we believe he's mentally unstable. This could be trouble, Shepard.
Okay. I mean, you may be overreacting. You may be making something out of nothing. I mean, sure, he doesn't love the Alliance. I mean, if he's not causing problems, he's just generally discontent, and that's fine.
What kind of proof do you have that the Major is dangerous?
3 days ago, we sent 2 Alliance representatives to meet with him at his compound. They've disappeared.
Okay, now that doesn't sound good.
Kyle and his followers killed them.
That would be pretty bad.
Is a cult, Shepard. They call him Father Kyle now. He set himself up as some kind of religious leader.
Oh, okay. What else can you tell us about these followers? You said many of them are biotics.
You said his followers were biotics?
Yes. Major Kyle never showed any biotic tendencies himself, though. I think he's just latched onto a group he identifies with.
Okay.
Many biotics feel marginalized or ostracized by society. Kyle probably sees them as victims who need his protection, and they see him as someone who will fight for them. Unfortunately, he's convinced them that the Alliance is somehow responsible for all their problems. We can't let him go on like this.
Okay. What about these missing officers? You said there were, what, 2 of them? And how long has it been? Is there any chance they just, stopped off to get a coffee along the way back?
What were those Alliance representatives going to talk to Major Kyle about?
They wanted to bring him back to an Alliance facility for treatment. Major Kyle served us faithfully for many years. We weren't going to abandon him. Given his state of mind, however, he probably saw them as a threat. We're almost certain he had his followers killed them.
Okay. Interesting in that case. And yeah, suppose it's a decent case to be made that, yeah, those guys are probably dead. As for Major Kyle himself, though...
What else can you tell me about Major Kyle?
He used to be a model soldier, but something happened to him at Torfin.
Really sounded like you said mama soldier.
Died under his command. Couldn't cope with the guilt. His psych evaluations showed he couldn't handle the stress of command anymore. He was given an honorable discharge and early retirement. We'd hoped he would get better in time, but we underestimated how far gone he was. Now it looks like it's too late.
Okay. Okay, then. So, maybe we can reason with him?
I might be able to end this without violence.
That may not be possible, Commander. We don't want a bloodbath, but Kyle is dangerous. I'll trust you to use your judgment. Hack it out.
Okay. So, that is more information on, yes, the mission that we were heading over to anyway. Let's take a look here at the general system at large, and then once we track down the specific spot, we'll give it a closer look. So, Tamahera has a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and xenon. Surface is icy and composed of sodium oxide with deposits of calcium. Contains a few unremarkable metals, but mainly consists of rock. Just rock. The presence of canyons and floodplains indicates that liquid water once existed, suggesting Tamahara had a thicker insulating atmosphere in the past, because right now it is minus 30 degrees Celsius. Not the coldest planet we've seen, but yeah, I suppose. Okay, then we have Clendagon and Presop. Let's see. Let's start with Clendagon. Clendagon is an arid terrestrial slightly larger than Earth, but with a lower gravity density that reflects its relative lack of heavier elements. The crust is composed of tin and aluminum, with wide deserts of dust-fine sand that are easily stirred by the wind. Clendagon's most striking feature is, of course, the Great Rift Valley that stretches across the southern hemisphere. What is most fascinating about the rift is that it does not appear to be natural. Oh? The geological record suggests it is the result of a glancing blow by a mass accelerator round of unimaginable destructive power. This occurred some 37 million years ago. Wow. Okay. Other than that, it's also very cold. Not much else about it. Resrop. Resrop is the moon of Clendagon. It is a frigid, barren world with an extremely thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. The crust contains plentiful deposits of heavy metals. The Alliance has opened bidding for the moon's mineral rights, but exploitation will be complicated by the system's proximity to the 5 kiloparsec ring around the galactic core. ring is an arena of intense star formation and is too dangerous to safely travel. Presrop's landscape is a nightmare of jagged, overlapping ridges, oh no, and geological shock zones created by some ancient disaster. It does not deter a generation of illegal wildcat miners from attempting to exploit the moon's mineral riches. Unfortunately, many have lost their lives. It is also very cold, tiny atmosphere, nearly the same gravity as Earth, but this is in fact the place where we can land around here, so that's why I was remarking at the whole jagged rock formations, just imagining what that's going to mean for navigating in the Mako. But let's, at least for now, first take a look at other things in this solar system, then we'll finish on that. So, for example, might we find anything in this asteroid belt? Or is it truly empty? It is not. Nearly gave up on that, but no. We do have a metal-rich asteroid here, which gives us a heavy metal. While scanning the asteroid field in the Hawking-Ida cluster, you detected a large deposit of palladium. It's palladium? Palladium, actually not sure. Palladium? Palladium. Then we've got Canctra, home of the cacti. A terrestrial world of average size, Canctra's atmosphere is composed of nitrogen and oxygen and argon, not oxygen. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of tin with deposits of calcium. Aside from some spectacular formations of water ice and poles, the planet has little to recommend it. Oh, sorry. And lastly, we have this nice ringed planet here, Theropdo. Theropdo is a typical hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and sulfur in its atmosphere. It has over 100 moons and an extensive ring system composed of pulverized rock, presumably the debris from shattered moons. Oh, we surveyed it as well. Hold up. Wait. Got a medallion. While scanning the planet Theropdo, you discovered a tiny moon with some odd readings. Further scans by Chief Engineer Adams revealed a destroyed escape pod. The salvage team recovered the components and found a League of One medallion. Nice. Okay, so now we have Presrop. So let's make our landing here.